narcissistic traits. Been listening to a lot of lectures lately, and well, I lived with it for years off and on, so I pretty much know about it inside out. Just thinking about it, because there's a lot of other people that probably don't know that are probably living with it too. But I was listening to Pete Sapper last night from Empath Uprising. I love his lectures, his work, his particular strategies, just wonderful stuff. And he talked about last night how, I think I posted the video on my page, how the covert narcissist is the most dangerous of them all. And not because they are necessarily violent or necessarily evil in your face. Okay, but here's what makes the covert narcissist so dangerous to everyone, is because they are hiding in plain sight. They are slithering little shits that are hiding among us, pretending to be our friend, pretending to be someone that loves us, pretending to be even a family member that cares, okay? And so that's what makes them so dangerous, is that they hate everyone. They have terrible things going on inside that they haven't dealt with. And they have a ball of envy inside for everyone. But the thing with the covert narcissist is they are not showing that face to anyone. Okay? The grandiose narcissist and the rest of them, well, whatever the fuck ever. We know who they are. Whatever. We know they're an asshole. We know they're selfish. We know their personality. And we can deal with that. We can choose to deal with that if we want to, or stay away from them if we want to. But what makes the covert narcissist so dangerous and so shocking is that they worm their way into your life under false pretenses. Never forget that. They're the ones that are pretending to be somebody else, pretending to be sweet and charming and or even helpless and vulnerable. And what the covert narcissist wants to do is worm their way into your life under those false pretenses. And a lot of times it's years and years before a person really picks up on, God damn, this is not the person I thought it was. Holy shit. Because behind closed doors, they're only going to show that other face to their romantic partner usually. They want to isolate one person, and it's usually not a family member. It's usually not somebody that's known them a long time. They usually get with a romantic partner, and they do this shit. A lot of them do it to new people. They will change girlfriends, boyfriends. They will change every 6 months because the person catches on to who they really are, and they have to keep a lot of backup people on file, you know, because they are not in it to love that person, to be that person's friend. They are in it for their own narcissistic supply, their own reasons. But if they do manage to stay in the relationship for years and the other person decides to put up with it when they start seeing, because you can bet your ass within a few weeks to a few months of getting with a covert narcissistic type, you're gonna start seeing warning signs, red flags, boundary breaking, all that stuff. But see, those of us who grew up in dysfunction, trauma, abuse, we were taught to accept that as normal. And some of us have had to work on it our whole lives. So when we get in a relationship with someone and we see something, oh, they just broke a boundary, something I just asked them not to do, or they just said something really degrading, but in a very passive-aggressive way where I wasn't supposed to pick up on it, but I just did pick up on it. I know what they're doing. And they're sitting there gaslighting me, ha ha ha, that was a joke. Okay. All that stuff you're going to start to see. It's very complex. It's very complicated. And those of us who grew up in traumatic childhoods, well, we've already been trained to not think any differently of that, to think that's normal, okay? And we just kind of look at it like, oh, damn, they just did something They shouldn't have done that. Oh well, whatever. It happens. That's normal. You know, and Pete Sapper was talking about last night how even innocent people who are very healthy-minded, who were not raised in abuse and neglect and trauma, who have none of that programmed in their brain, normal, average, everyday citizens who are not programmed to put up with dysfunction and tolerate that as normal. The covert narcissist can even get to them. That is why they are the most dangerous of narcissists. The covert narcissist can get to a perfectly healthy, normal, life-living individual who has never had a toxic problem in their life, just doing fine in their life, and they can mistake a covert narcissist for a good person, for a person who cares, and let that person in, and the covert narcissist can destroy anyone. They can weave their way in with all that false face, and that's what they do. And they can get to anyone, and what they do, it's a type of brainwashing. They get into a person's life, and they start programming that person and grooming that person and training them, their partner, to tolerate and accept dysfunction and chaos for lifelong. That is basically what they're looking for. Indicating, when Pete said that, they train and groom their partners to accept dysfunction and chaos for lifelong. Okay, when he said that, that indicates that the covert narcissist will never change. They cannot change. They will be chaos and dysfunction for the rest of their lives. And so what the covert narcissist is looking for is not love, is not true friendship, is not a relationship or a marriage or a partnership that they can grow and build on and become better humans and better examples and have something in this life. Absolutely not. What the covert narcissist is looking for is someone to trap. That's right. They want to manipulate into a web and trap a person that they can groom, that they can brainwash, that they can use coercive control, whatever they need to say and do to get your particular brain and personality to fall into it and believe in them. And basically what the covert narcissist wants is a servant, a constant source of narcissistic supply, whatever that particular narcissist needs all the time, energy-wise. They can't manufacture energy inside themselves. They need to harvest yours. And so that's what the covert narcissist wants. They want to trap someone in, and they are going through people like they're disposable. That's why they stay kind of detached from you. That's why they're overboard in the love department. I love you, I love you, I love you. They almost seem obsessed with you because it's not real. It's not fucking real. You know that saying, sometimes the display, too much of a display of something is a sign of its lack? Absolutely. And the thing with a lot of these covert narcissists is they're educated, but they're fucking stupid. Emotionally stupid. Sorry. It's just the way it is. They have detached themselves so far from reality so long ago and lived in such toxic mechanisms for so long that they don't get it. They don't see the things that we see. They think they've got everybody fooled. They think that they are far superior to everyone else. No one could ever suspect what's really going on in their brains, right? This is how they think. No one can see their damn body language. No one can hear their tone. No one can pick up on their shitty red flags and terrible behavior. That's what they think, though. And they will try to gaslight you to your face. I didn't do that. Oh, I would never do that. You're crazy. And gaslighting, I'll be glad. I need to find the source that I heard that from about 2 or 3 months back. But I did hear that somewhere I believe it's in the UK, they are passing a bill. They're trying to get it into law where psychological abuse can be prosecuted. Where motherfuckers can start being held accountable for that kind of bullshit. Yep. I don't know how they're going to pull it off. But I did hear that. It was a documentary or maybe an article I read. I need to find my source on that. But I was very happy to hear it. Because, and these covert narcissists, no, it does look like mental illness to me after being around it for a long time in the past. The people that I was around that were covert narcissistic, yeah, it did. It looked like a type of mental illness to me. That's all I could come up with. It's that damn flabbergasting. Their behavior and their thinking patterns and the way they just, oh my God. And the first time I ever experienced it was actually a male roommate many years back. And I didn't know what it was. And then later on, a few years later, I ran into another person and I started to see those same strange characteristics. And so, I have done a lot of research and been studying, in the recent past, of course. But in the past, I didn't know what it was. They have very odd, strange characteristics. And one of them is just a thing where you tell them and you tell them and you tell them and you tell them and you tell them over and over and over and over and over and over again. And they don't seem to hear you. They do it again. My male roommate was like this. This was about 12, 15 years back, maybe. I would tell him something, specifically. Oh, this is for such and such and such and such. I'm just going to leave that right there. Or this instruction or that instruction. Or, this needs to be done, blah, blah, blah. Or anything. And I could tell him anything, and he would do it anyway. Making it look like, after about 5 or 6 times of him doing that, making it look like, almost like he had brain damage, or that maybe he was a little, I don't know, a little not there. I mean, I come from a family of mental illness, so I'm not afraid to talk like that. Just about every one of my siblings and I have some kind of, 3 of us have PTSD and anxiety disorders, and the other 2 or 3 have personality disorders. Mental illness, bipolar, schizophrenia, shit like that runs in my family. So I know the kind of different ins and outs, and when you run across a covert narcissist, it's hard to put together. It's really hard to put together because it looks like, at first to you, it almost looks like, wow. And at the time, my male roommate was like 42 and I was 28. He was a lot older than me. And it looked to me like, wow, emotionally, it's almost like they're in kindergarten. Now, they might look like grown men and women. They can carry out things on their everyday like grown. But when it comes to emotionally computing and relating to others and carrying out tasks that have to do with being aware of another person's feelings and respecting that and empathizing with that, you will notice, I don't know what words, the male roommate, I had several words that came to mind with him after a while. Frankenstein was one of them, because he just, every single time, on and on and on, he would do the exact thing that I asked him not to, or that I set a boundary on that didn't make me feel right. Or I just noticed that even in his own everyday life, without anything to do with me, he had a lot of trouble doing things that common sense people would not do. And it makes you look at them like, damn, is there anybody in there? Are you fucking computing? And it also makes you look at them like, damn, are you in kindergarten? Like, you can't follow even the most basic of instruction. You go right ahead and do what the person just instructed you not to. And that is what you will deal with a covert narcissist. They are all like that. I mean it. I've had it several times. That male roommate was very much like that. And, you'll go through all the psychological questions of, okay, what happened to this person? What's going on in their brain? What have they been through in life? Yada, yada, yada. And you will find that you don't need to do that. You do not need to go down that rabbit hole, because they don't want help. They don't think there's anything wrong with them. And come to find out, they haven't been in there since childhood. They have not been there. They were either abused or neglected. That male roommate, I believe he said that his mother died when he was a little boy, like 11 years old. So that tells a lot of the story right there. And he was raised and left with a very neglectful alcoholic father. Nobody spent time with him. That tells the story right there. This man was very empty. He didn't have any hobbies. And that is typically where a lot of narcissism starts, from an abuse or neglect in the past that these people got no help for. And it's scary. And so it turned into a very creepy situation. Come to find out, this man has nothing inside except going to work and coming home, sitting around, preying on women on the internet. They all seem to have that in common. And obsessing over dating, obsessing over sex. And they get pretty weird. They all seem to have a big fantasy in their head. They can't connect to reality. Even if they have a real girlfriend or wife, they can't seem to really fully connect to her. They're not all the way there. You will notice that. And there's a lot more to it. I've talked about it for a couple years. There's a lot more to it. But that was my first experience with it, and it was really scary. I lived at that house with that male roommate for about 5 years. And I had no problem with him and children. He was nothing like that. He didn't cross any lines as far as being a sexual predator or anything towards children. My sons were in grade school at the time. They were old enough to talk, fight. They had been taught well. There was nothing like that ever went on or that I ever worried about. But when it came to him interacting with other grown, mature adults, including me and especially me, I began to see that he would smile in my face and have this sort of goofy, aloof, oh, everything's okay. But inside, that motherfucking dude was seething and raging, and he had little glasses, and he just seemed like the coolest, nicest little person, even a bookworm type. Watch out for those motherfuckers. Watch out for those, I'm so nerdy and geeky, I would never hurt a fly, I'm so sweet. Watch out for that time of Norman Bates ass shit, because that's what that male roommate was kind of reminding me of, that kind of vibe, okay? And so, but it took me, like I say, it will fuck with your head, because you do not want to accuse an innocent person wrongly. So you might spend months or even years trying to put together, is this real? Is this person really this fucked up? Are they doing things and I'm picking up on it and they're doing it on purpose, but they're fucking telling me they're not doing it? You will go through all of that sick psychological stupidity, and it will make you fucking mad, and it will make you want to reactionally abuse their ass. That's why you gotta get the hell away from them. And I think somebody in my family did attack that male roommate at one point. Another male in my family took care of that. Because as it turned out, yeah, that male roommate was creepy. He was spying on me. He was, I couldn't understand it. It was the first time in my life I'd been exposed to covert narcissism, because I was used to being around grandiose narcs. I was used to being around motherfuckers that just told it like it is and stomped around and did whatever the fuck they want to. I grew up under a majorly abusive, grandiose, narcissistic type of man, alcoholic, domineering. I'm used to motherfuckers that just say, hey, I'm an asshole. I fucking whatever. I'm gonna treat you like shit so you can take it or leave it. I'm used to that. But you see, covert narcissists are fucking cowards. They're fucking wormy little, sitting in the corner, wishing they could be everybody else, hating everybody else, will take no action to be like everybody else though. Ate up with all kinds of inferiorities and bullshit, hating everyone, and going around the world doing passive-aggressive little actions to get at everybody. You best know it. That's right. And they look like your best friend. They look like the nicest girl or guy in the world. That's right. So, as it turned out, this motherfucker was doing all kinds of creepy shit, and I couldn't understand it. Like, for so many years, I lived there for 5 years. And after the first couple of years, you know, I started trying to put this together. I would hear sounds in the attic when I was in the shower. But when I would come out of the shower, all of a sudden, this man would be in his room. He wasn't up there. It would be that kind of ongoing head fuckery, stupid shit. And every time I would confront him about anything or just ask him about anything, it would be that they all have that goofy face, stupid look on their face. No. Oh, no. I would never do anything like that. Oh, no. You know, they will gaslight you. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just going to leave the room because I think you're really going too far. They like to say that fucked up shit a lot. Oh, we're going to go too far? All right, buddies. We're going to expose y'all's asses for what y'all are. We're going to go too far. All right. Yeah, but they like to say that a lot. I think you're going too far now. I think I'm going to leave the room. You're hurting my feelings. Yet they are secretly, they're too cowardly to do it to anybody's face. They are secretly raping and robbing and fantasizing, probably even killing in their mind. Yes, it gets that deep. They are secretly sitting around hating on, envious of, pulling passive-aggressive little things they know you'll hate or you'll stress out on. They are secretly harvesting and robbing and sucking the good, positive energy of the other people around them. That's right. That's right. We have to be mindful. And I'm so much more educated about it now. I see these people for what they really are. I see past the human skin that they have on, and to me, there's not a human in there anymore. That human checked out in childhood. They checked out a long time ago, and you can't feel sorry for them. You can't feel pity for them because that's what they want you to do. That's right. They want to suck you into that. That's how they trap you. And so that is covert narcissist in a nutshell. It was on my mind today. I was having some memories of that male roommate. I've been through a lot in those type of situations, and I ended up, thank God, getting out of his house and moving on. And I was quite traumatized up until a year after I moved out of his house. I thought people were peeping in my windows. Yes, these son of a bitches are getting away with psychologically damaging people. And they need to be fucking held accountable. They need help is what they really need. But they don't want it. They don't want it. They're too scared to tell everybody they have a problem because they'll look creepy or something. They'll look like a bad guy. Well, they don't know that everybody can see through their asses anyway. They're going to be caught eventually. People are going to catch on. And they don't know that they look far more stupid for not admitting their problems and facing up to the problems than they look more stupid hiding like that. They look worse than if they would just fess up to everything and say, you know, I got some problems. I've got some fucking problems and I don't like who I am. I don't want to be this person anymore and I want to change. But yeah, that was my first incidence of running into that. And he and I were not romantic partners, so it's different for each situation with each covert narcissist. That was really the first time in my life I ever started picking up on something weird like that. Now, there are romantic situations where it's going to be a different dynamic. That was a roommate situation, and you know, for a long time I was just like, you know, and I had 2 little kids at the time, and you know, I had to do things a certain way, and, you know, just living with someone, you're going to have interactions. Oh, listen, they're not allowed to do this anymore, so if you don't mind, you know, it's cool, but just don't let them do this, this, and this, or... And I swear to God, it was the first time I ever ran across a person who... And people don't know me. People don't know that I am an empath, and we'll get into that later. That's not every Tom, Dick, and Harry like everybody thinks. That's not every flowery person born on this earth is an empath. No, it's not that. So let me change that word to something else. People don't know that I can fucking read energy. Empath is too much equated with little flowery doormat, namaste, little victim-oriented, weak people, and that's not me. So let's just say people don't fucking know what they're getting involved with when they fucking get involved with me. And it makes their little lips quiver because they don't know I can see them. They don't know I can see them. That's right, when they run across my path trying to pull that shit like they pull on everybody else, They don't know I can see. I can see through to their core. I can see their little boy inside. I can see their little girl. I can see their aura. I can feel. What they say with their words, I hear other words. I hear the in-betweens, and it's just something that happens with me. I don't know how to explain it, but I can read energy oftentimes if I'm really close to a person. I can tell when they are fake, superficial, when they have another agenda. I can read their body and I can just pick up on it. It starts hurting inside my stomach, or my muscles tense up. I listen, okay? And so when people like that get close to me, they don't know what to think. They are shocked that almost everything they try to pull on me, I can see it. And plus, being the child of an alcoholic, narcissistic father, abusive family situation, lots of experience in my life with those types of things and people and studies of my own. Not only my energy reading and psychic abilities that I picked up as a child, having to read energy to stay alive at home and in the streets. They don't know what to make of that. They don't know that. They're used to getting by with manipulating everybody. They're used to being around naive people, I guess, or people that just haven't been through what I've been through, or can't see what I can see and see it quickly. And even for me, a well-trained individual in that area, it still takes me a while to grasp the covert narcissistic type, because most of us normal people don't even want to believe that such a motherfucker exists. What? Are there really people that act like this? You know, that's what it is for a while. And so, yeah, they really don't know what to think, though, when they run across me. And, you know, the covert narcissist is kind of cowardly. They're not going to be like, all in your face, well, goddamn you, you bitch, and I want. They're not going to do that. They're going to, I didn't do that. You just hurt my feelings. I can't believe you can see right through me, that I'm a sadistic little worm, that I actually really hate women, and I like objectifying them. And I really did do all those passive-aggressive things, and I'm really an unhealed little worm that doesn't want any help. I just want to cry about the things that have happened to me, and I want to hurt other people. I can't believe you can see that. Oh my God, how dare you see through me? And their little lip comes out and starts to quiver. They can't believe it. I saw my male roommate's face so many times just crack right down the middle. His